Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TechLive. Cloud isn't coming, it's already here. And for businesses in Oman, the question is no longer whether to move to the cloud, but how fast and how smart. Tonight, we are going to answer that. My name is Wadi Al-Lawati, Senior Business Developer at Omantel, and I'll be your host this evening. Thank you for joining us for the very first session of TechLive, a new webinar series where we bring together technology experts, business leaders, and customers to tackle real-world challenges, explore emerging trends, and share practical insights that matter to organizations here in Oman and across the region. Tonight, in collaboration with Otech, an Omantel company, our focus is cloud solutions for businesses. Over the next 60 minutes, we will move through three key pillars. Global cloud trends, what is shaping the market right now. Cloud adoption in Oman and the GCC, where we stand and where we are headed. And the Omantel Group role, how we are enabling businesses of every size to move forward with confidence. We will wrap up with a live question and answer, so drop your question in the chat at any time and we'll get to as many as we can. Let me introduce the three people who live and breathe this every day. Saad Al-Habsi. He worked extensively with organizations across Oman on cloud and connectivity projects. At his current role as Senior Proficient Business Development at Omantel, he'll be our guide on strategy, connectivity, and how to build the case for cloud. Isa Rawahi, Cybersecurity Director at Otech and a seasoned expert in securing cloud environment. He'll address the security and the sovereignty questions we know are top of mind. And last but not least, Mazen Zakwani, Senior Manager for Technology and Innovation at Otech. He brings the technical depth and innovation perspective to tonight's conversation. Welcome all three of you, and let's get started.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So we are operating in a world where cloud has moved from a nice to have to the backbone of how modern businesses run. Let's start at the global level because understanding the macro picture helps us make smarter local decisions. Mazen, I'll start with you since you are sitting far away from me. They say far away but close to the heart. So Mazen, what are the top 2 or 3 trends shaping cloud globally right now? And why should enterprises here in Oman pay attention to this?
Yeah, actually, the biggest shift now in the cloud sector is moving from traditional cloud to the AI-ready infrastructures, where is the requirement of build this as a foundation. So cloud's been now as a foundation for AI, for digital sovereignty, as well for autonomous operation. We can jump to your question, where exactly the trends. First trend is AI infrastructure and the ready platforms, AI-ready platforms. We can see the cloud service providers now, they are transforming from traditional cloud services to AI factory and AI ready infrastructure to provide services.
Okay.
As well, we can see that a lot of governments and enterprises have been invested a lot and very wide, big investment in AI clouds and AI platforms, ready native platforms, and automation layers as well. When it comes to Oman sectors and the region, what's the required, maybe where it's like matter. Now, organization, they're required to have a strong ready platform where they can put their workload on. They have as well required to have GPU as a service. They're required to have inferencing services. They're required to have automated solutions. So these all investment happen from the big enterprises and governments. At the other side, we can see globally even the biggest hyperscalers like Amazon and this bigger hyperscalers. They're investment, and they are growing fastly, while they have now is AI consumption rather than having virtual machine migration in the past. So this is when it comes to the AI itself. When it go in the second, like a big pillar as a trend in the region and worldwide, sovereign cloud services and data protection, especially data residency when it will be in the part of protection.
Which is one of the hot topics here everyone is talking about.
Exactly. So the requirement of having local data center within the geographic region that have extra services from the local provider is mandate because of the re- um, regulations
Laws.
and compliance of the country itself.
Okay.
So some sectors like banking and sectors, healthcare and
Government,
governments,
semi-government.
exactly, with they have strong regulations that they have to
Follow.
have and follow compliance within the country. Um, Third thing that we, as a big pillar that also I can see in the market and the trend is about having multi-cloud and um, environment where it is part of having organization their workload across many data center rather than keep it under one data center on-prem where it is affecting the, um, it may get affected one a day.
So don't put all of your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Once you can see as well, it's how it's important for our market and our region to have such scenarios that you need to have segregated private cloud solutions. You can't keep them in, for example, for compliant solutions. And you can't keep the public cloud environments, your elastic model solutions. You can have your edge solutions as well, where you can host some workloads within the same country or another country regions. Uh, Third, this is the third one and the three pillars I can see.
Okay, so Mazen, I'll move now to Saad and I'll use your word. You use the word multi-cloud. And we hear also about another buzzword called the hybrid model. So Saad, my question is, hybrid multi-cloud models are becoming now the default for many organizations as stated clearly by Mazen. Now, is that primarily a cost play, a security decision, or is it about avoiding the vendor lockup, or is it all in three?
Thank you, Wadia. It's a combination of things. Hybrid and multi-cloud models are becoming the norm because organizations still want to maintain control without not losing innovation. So the truth is, there is no one size fits all. But there are three main practical drivers to this. The first one is regulation and also data sovereignty. Certain organizations, governments, and banking, they want to make sure that certain information stays on-prem. However, there are certain aspects to it with a little bit of flexibility. Let me give you an example. For example, in oil and gas, there are certain regulations that wants to make sure that certain data stays on-prem, for example, telemetry, special application. However, when it comes to preventative maintenance, do you really want to have it on cloud? Do you really want to have it do you really want to have it on-prem? Not really. Second driver would be resilience and diversification, distributing different workloads. Let's face it, sometimes outages do happen.
Of course.
So you want to make sure you have a backup plan if anything goes wrong. And as they say, data is the new oil.
Yes.
Okay, and then cost and performance optimization. If we look at cost and optimization, certain workloads are there for certain applications. So let me give you an example. Certain organizations have certain applications. So there are special clouds for AI capabilities. There are special clouds for collaboration. and sometimes they are special clouds for different sorts of workloads. So as I mentioned, it is no longer becoming a trend, but now it's a much more strategic architecture choice.
Okay. So having said that, and I believe a lot of leaders are already watching us today, I would like to ask you another question, Saad, building on what you have said. Now, the question that comes usually from most of the leaders is that we are not sure cloud is right for us or no. So how do you build an internal business case for cloud adoption when decision makers are kind of skeptical?
We face this question a lot with a lot of the leaders. But one thing I can tell you, over the last few years, it has actually changed. The discussion has actually moved from hesitation to what sort of workloads do I actually want to have on cloud? So it is actually changing. So what we usually do is, with our partner, along with our partners, Otech and this, we actually sit down with the organizations. We try to understand the overall objective of what they want to achieve, and then try to build case scenarios and look at workloads that can actually be moved to cloud in terms of customer application, customer portal, certain things that does not need to be actually on that. So it is changing, it is shifting, and we start with a very, very small approach, build the capability, IT and the organization gains confidence, and they actually see the value and the return of this particular move.
Okay. Isa, I'll ask you a question. Now, Mazen and Saad are promoting for the cloud. But everyone listening to us, including me, have a question that keeps us up all the night. Cybersecurity, security, and the data. So what are the top security concerns organizations raise when they consider moving to the cloud? And how are the forward-thinking companies actually mitigating these risks?
Thank you, Wadi. There are lots of questions or concerns, we can say, because as you know that moving to cloud, it's not an easy decision. And we've seen this in several organizations, either government organizations or even private organizations, especially the organizations that they've been in decades using legacy solutions on-prem. They know what they are doing. They have a full, you can say, assume that full control of their environment. Moving to cloud, the first question they ask, are we secured?
Of course.
Is our data, is there somebody else going to see our
Yes.
data there, which is hosted in your cloud?
Exactly.
Is the cloud stable? What are the security appliance? Is it going to be out of our control? Also, this type of questions and concerns, we usually
These
get
are the
them.
first questions everyone would ask while you are handshaking them. Hi, my name is Wadi Al-Lawati, Omantel Cloud. Okay, what are your security measurements?
Exactly. So usually cloud service providers, when you are hosted with them, you have your own tenant,
Okay.
which is either logically isolated,
Mhm.
and sometimes it might be physically isolated. So actually you own the whole application, you control everything what you have, no one else interrupt your business. The other thing is that the cloud providers, they provide you infrastructure where you can put your platform, and you do whatever you want. So this is where I'm giving you a confidence that there is no one interact your business while or your data what is hosted. This is one. The other thing is cloud supervisor, they have security appliance, and they secure in different layers. For instance, you can have a native WAF, for instance, which WAF, when we say it's a firewall, where it can protect your in and out data, the information that goes, and anyone who's trying to access who are not part of your network.
Mhm.
In addition to that, you can add on top of that like antivirus, EDR, SSL certifications, and it depends on your environment and the information that you have. Because some clients, they don't care about security much.
Unfortunately,
Maybe
yes.
the type of data that they have is not that much important, or if it disappears, that's no problem for them. But it's very important for them, especially who are serving others, because it's when you have a service online, hundreds of people getting in, because you don't want this to drop down at any time. Therefore, it will be very crucial. Then they can add extra mile of cybersecurity. In addition to that, some of them, they say, okay, what about if the system went down or my environment went down?
A blackout or an outage.
Exactly, and this is usually most of cloud service providers, they have a redundant cloud, which is away around 200 kilometers or 10 kilometers, depends on the type of the cloud you have. And the client can have high availability. He can have a DR on other side when system goes off the second one. And most of cloud service providers, they have, you can say, business continuity certified, where they test their environment time to time.
So even ransomwares, God forbidden, or anything else, we are still secured when we move to cloud.
We are still secured, and all of this, it depends on the type of the solutions that you are going to add, even if you are on-prem. And if you don't adapt the right solutions to protect your environment, it's almost the same.
Okay. Thank you, Isa. I believe Mazen and Saad, you agree with me that from now on, for any meeting that we go, I believe we have to drag or borrow Isa with us so that he can answer this question. Then he can leave us and we can continue our business.
I will try to convince them.
Okay, we'll pay you definitely, Isa. Don't worry. Okay, I'll move to a second pillar, which is the cloud adoption, Oman and GCC, and the cloud transformation. Let's zoom in. Oman now is at an important moment. Digital transformation is the national priority. We have digital transformation initiative, we have the digital economy, and so many other initiatives that are part of Oman Vision 2040 and the mission of MTCIT and other organizations in Oman. And cloud sits right at the center of this ambitions. Where do we actually stand? So I will start with few questions. Again, back to you, Mazen. I missed your voice, so let me start with you again. So now the question is, when we are talking about Oman and GCC, how does Oman and GCC compare to the global market are mature in terms of the cloud?
Yeah.
Where are the gaps or the opportunities that we can grab or capture, looking into the actual business happening here in Oman? Or in GCC, of course.
Good question. You highlighted the main that initiatives came from the governments and from different sectors, especially when it comes to the cloud adoptions. Where we are as a GCC countries and in the cloud journey compared to the others worldwide countries and regions. Now I can see that we are not a followers makers.
Good.
And we became now in a position of a strategic where we build our own strategic on AI strategics as a governments and high enterprises in the region, especially in our countries. And we build our own missions and where we need to reach in coming years. So I can say we are strong as well because of the transformation, digital transformation is led by the government itself. Exactly. And it's a strategy behind it. Also, there is a requirement in the market that to show the big value that this company can provide. I can see as well in the coming 2 to 3 years, since we are growing very fast in the services and providing AI solutions, that in coming 2 to 3 years that we're going to be leading strategy, the AI-centric solutions in the region.
Good.
Where it will be attracted for all the world governments and entities worldwide.
So I think by this, there is no excuse for any organizations not to consider the cloud, especially that we are mature and we are becoming from followers to pioneers, innovators, and even soon, inshallah, leaders in the AI. Exactly. So Saad,
yes.
Back to Oman and GCC again.
Yes.
Which workloads are moving to the cloud first? And which are still staying on-prem, and why?
Okay, so if we would look at GCC and Oman, we see very similar trends. So what we've seen is, for example, collaboration tools. Collaboration tools, they are the most easier to move and shift the workloads. When it comes to customer applications and also apps, also moving towards cloud testing and development environment, not really required to have things on-prem. And this is where customers can actually utilize these environments with different capabilities to test, build, run, and operate the solutions. Marketing campaigns and marketing campaigns, certain organizations. Let me give you an example. There's many, in the retail, there are many e-commerce platforms. And usually, they come up with campaigns.
Yes.
And we've seen a case once with a customer where they were trying to run some campaigns and it was on-prem and they had many issues and they were not able to scale up. However, while moving to cloud, this actually solved a lot of problems. And with Otech capabilities and the cloud features, auto-scaling, they were able to, not have the service impacted. And the customer impact or customer service is actually, or experience is not actually impacted. So these are the workloads. However, there are certain workloads that are still staying on-prem. For example, as Isa mentioned, legacy workloads. Certain organization might have certain organization might have legacy workloads for over 20 years. And it's actually very difficult to shift. We don't have that capability, so they might need to re-engineer the way they do their business. Sensitive data, due to regulation, needs to make sure that is hosted on-prem or even hosted within Oman and not to leave the country. And highly sensitive and regulated data, like, for example, citizens' information. You don't want to be putting it out there for other people to look into what's going on. So this is very similar between GCC and Oman.
Okay. Thank you, Saad. Isa, I'll take you away from cybersecurity for one question, then I'll attack again, I'll take you back to it. So my question is for you, Isa, is that when organizations accelerate cloud adoption, what is the one thing that has to go first? Tools, procedures, or culture?
Okay. Very good question anyway. This is, it really reflects to the reality where we are living now.
Because some organizations might get lost on where to start or what
Exactly.
to do exactly. Okay, they will come and say, guys, help us. We want to move to the cloud, but we don't want to get in chaos, or we
Sure.
don't know where exactly to start.
Exactly. And this issue is not only in Oman. I mean, most of the countries, they have the same problem, where you have organizations that they have, as I said before, they own solutions, they own culture, where they've been number of years, 10, 20 years, utilizing the same process internally. They have their own systems that they know in and out. Moving to cloud, this is where the story starts.
Yes, the journey starts.
Yes, exactly. Actually, culture is the first.
Okay.
Why culture first? Because culture is the most important way that to convince the employees that this is important. This is, we have to follow the digital transformation. We have to follow the strategy of the country. For instance, 2040 strategy will be faster in implementation, cost effective. And usually it starts from leaders level, top down, awareness, rising the maturity of understanding what is data centers.
So we get
Or
the buy-in
cloud.
and we avoid the
Yes.
resistance, because the nature of people is to resist the change.
Exactly. And I usually prefer if they move and visit the cloud service providers. This gives also a better insight, giving them more confidence.
Mhm.
So this is the journey of culture changing.
Okay.
Then it comes process. And this
Okay.
is another journey where process, it has to be implemented, because comparing with the previous process, adapting this process to the cloud, it will never work.
Yes.
So it has to be redesigned. There will be a better communication, shared responsibilities between the cloud provider and the team who are taking care of this. In addition of that, also migrating the control, because some of the organizations, they think that all the control will be taken by the cloud service provider. But at the end
become
of
a
the
black
day,
box for them.
exactly. So visibility will be still there. The process should be aligned properly. There is a dashboard for the client who can see what is going on and he can access the environment. There is also escalation level.
Okay.
So for instance, if there is any issue, they can reach to the cloud. So for example, we have NOC where they can receive tickets, they can receive complaints. In addition to that, you can reach to them very easily and you can solve your issue. So all of these processes should be aligned. Also, compliance. You have to be aware compliant. So sometimes you feel that in your environment you are really 100% compliant, but cloud is not. But it's not true. Cloud can support you. It will make your life easier also, because you let other people to do their job and you focus on your main business. You don't have to focus on technology all the time. So therefore, cloud, they have their own ISO 27001 certifications. They have business continuity certifications. So all of this will make their life easier. This is one part. Then it goes to the tools. So the tools is the end, because if you cover all culture and process, tools will be your life easier. Everyone will adapt.
You are ready.
In the proper, adaptation and transition, and everyone we can go forward.
Okay.
And we usually do some awarenesses, and we try to raise awareness to the clients.
I'll zoom in on one word you have said, compliance. So now the question is that for you again, Isa, since you mentioned the word compliance, so I'll have to stay with you, is how important is compliance, trust, and data sovereignty to Oman's national digital transformation? Is it purely a regulatory kind of a concern, or is it more, it adds to the story or adds a flavor or adds a kind of an encouragement for the organizations to move to cloud?
Okay, without trust, compliance, and digital sovereignty, digital transformation, it won't happen, because these are the main pillars. Giving a trust to the client, being more transparent to move forward. Compliance also, it should be injected with the same. So trust and compliance, where they know that you are actually doing the right thing. Data sovereignty, also moving to Vision 2040, where all the data should be localized in country. And you have also to bring this to the client, that they should understand that your data is actually in-house. And this will raise several things. First, we are going to have in-country value, where Omanis, for example, they will understand how to deal with the cloud. We are not depending on the hyperscalers and everything.
Of course.
So our hands-on you will raise the capabilities of citizens who are in Oman, for example. Also, you can raise the capabilities in security, in others. So therefore, all of this goes together. So the trust comes from one-to-one or B2B.
Okay. So that takes me to another important question to you, Mazen, about the infrastructure. Now, we all know infrastructure matters, but how does the connectivity, quality, data center proximity affects the real cloud performance for businesses in Oman? And is this still a barrier? Some people might say that connectivity is not sufficient. Some might say that the data centers are not efficient enough. We don't trust the local provider. They are not mature enough. They are not ready enough. So how do we answer these kind of questions when it comes to connectivity and when it comes to the maturity and the proximity of the data centers?
Yeah. The current situation is actually the cloud service providers, the local cloud service providers, they are coming from the backbone of the telecom companies. They are subsidiaries in the market. So they are having the big connectivity that pipelines can be provided by the
Operators.
provider and operator. For example, if we are talking about Otech here, how the Otech deal with this high demand and requirement in terms of connectivity. So as per there's a requirement, there's a solution can be expanded. So and the current solutions that all the cloud service providers, and especially Otech, they are scalable and high available always all the time. So in this case, that whenever there is a demand and there is a requirement, so we can provide a service in terms of connectivity. Today, even the Oman location in worldwide in the map, you can see the logistic location is very important for bringing the big investment to the country and make sure the trust related to the connectivity. Why that? Because today Oman is landing on it all, the most of the cabling, submarine cablings, which is managed by Zoe, to Oman. And it is connecting the east with the west. This is the very important geographic location. And our facility here as a provider, service providers, that we can reach the world with a fast connect, with a direct connect to hyperscalers, as well to any other providers within the world. So here give more benefits when you provide us a service, like you have a multi-cloud services, as I mentioned earlier, that you can still contain your workload within the country or within your environment and have some workload running with the hyperscalers, which is, for example, like AWS. Otech itself managed AWS landing zone, holistic landing zone in Ireland, for example. So there's a backbone cabling is direct connecting as a direct connect. So this is give more facilities for the cloud provider in Oman and the government and as well the private sectors to get use of this big facilities.
Okay, so Saad, Isa and Mazen are assuring us we are mature, we are ready, we are secure, and there is no barrier or obstacle or even excuse for any organization not to move the cloud. But still, me and you and every salesperson who knocks the door, Mr. Customer, I'm here to sell cloud, they come with the $1 million question or the $1 million comment. We want to start small. We don't want to go big. We don't want to go with a big bang theory. Let's start small steps, baby steps. That will take us eventually to the cloud. The question is, can they really do that? Can they start with a very minimal footprint on the cloud and scale from there? And if they do so, how does this kind of journey looks in reality?
Wadia, this is the best approach. We actually encourage our customers to start small always. Test it, feel it. You need to learn to crawl. You need to learn to crawl, then walk, and then run. We don't expect you to run from day one, but we expect you to take the small step. Look at the workloads that you actually want to put on cloud. And this is the benefit. If you try to today, let's be frank. If a customer or client or organization tried to build AI capabilities, it would cost them a lot to bring in servers. Obviously, with what's going on, there's delays in equipment and this, but this is the benefit of cloud. Having different infrastructures, platforms, even software applications to actually address the customer's need. So start small and make big. It only takes a very, very small step. And this is the benefit for cloud. And it becomes an OpEx-based model rather than putting all your investment. This actually reduces the cost of failure. Clients can try before, and there's also the options of try and buy to get that experience, gain that confidence, and actually transform the way and proof of concepts. And we're more than happy to do that along with our partner, along with our subsidiary, Otech.
So Mazen, since Saad is encouraging the small steps, crawling and then walking and then running, let's assume I'm an SME. I knock your door, that guys, I wanted to start in my journey in cloud. So for an SME, what is the minimum viable cloud setup that allows him in Oman to go to the cloud, ensure that he is secure, as Isa is saying,
Yeah.
productive, and scalable without the spending of a high-level enterprise. Of course, this
Yeah.
question, Saad is promoting minimum means that our incentives will be impacted because he is starting small. But yes, for an SME, how can they start with this minimal setup?
See, for us, like SMEs, we support them with very big, wide services. It comes from a domain to the data center if they require such a colocation services. When it comes to SMEs, they're actually building a new business.
Of course, and
And
they are the pillar of Oman. Oman is empowering them, and sometimes the
exactly,
SMEs felt that they are not in the spotlight of the enterprises. They usually come and say, "We are an SME. You don't look at us. You always look for the SME." So how
yeah.
can we help them to prepare them to go to the cloud?
We support normally SMEs. We sit with the SMEs. We have our dedicated team where we're going to study their requirements as their business. They understand their business end to end, and they will provide them the solutions that we provide as a service provider. We can provide them with a list of services where it fit all their requirements, so they don't need to have investment, big investment, and spend on the capex where they build dedicated environment and their premises. So moving and provide them with the cloud services, it will support them easily to be go to the market with their products and focusing on their own businesses growth. So here where we focus for the SMEs, and we also provide them, as Mr. Saad said earlier, that about providing POCs, proof of concept, to support them in building their solutions prior their go live, and make sure that their products are healthy and support. We make sure it's secured by support of the security arm. As Mr. Isa has talked about the services regarding the security as well. So we are with them end to end. Even we are providing them a services which is consumption-based model, which is allowing them to pay as you go, where they consume their solutions, they pay the requirement that they spend it. As well, we are providing a solutions like a cloud-based solutions, which is multi-tenancy, which
SaaS
they
solutions.
and SaaS solutions, where they can just have a users-based solutions and just access the systems and go ahead to the market. Yeah. So
Okay. Last but not least, gentlemen, before we go into the questions of the audience, and I believe or that they are eager to ask and they have a lot of questions throughout the conversation discussion we had, is the Omantel and Omantel group role and strategy. Now, this brings us to what Omantel and Otech are actually doing for customers, not just in terms of connectivity, but a full end-to-end digital partnership. Mazen, back again to you. As an Otech, what kind of value does Otech bring to the table, whether a customer is an SME, a large enterprise, or a government entity, and what differentiates Otech today in terms of the proposition than any other player locally or globally or even regionally?
yeah. So OTEC is defined actually to be the strategic transformation company within the country to move the technology and transfer all the technology toward the high technologies and latest technologies, especially when it comes to the latest technology in the AI sectors and others. So, and OTEC is focused from different level, from focus to the enterprises, large enterprises, and focus to the SMEs themselves. When we talk about SMEs, for example, we talk that we provide massive of services which support them to save their capex and take it to OPEX model. When we come to a large enterprise, and we said large enterprise here, I mentioned we provide data center as a service now. A data center as a service is we provide it to hyperscalers level to be hosted within a country. We provided as a ready environment for enterprises to move their business, fully business, to the cloud services, where we have many models as well for enterprises, such as 5 years TCO, where the total cost of ownership will be managed by Otech, where we provide full digital transformation for the government, for the private sector entities, enterprises. And we study the investment from day one, from the migration of their workload from legacy environment to the cloud, and modernize it to be capable to be used with the latest technology, especially with IoT, with as well with the AI services. And we support them to provide them secure environment. So they will be also focusing in their main core businesses rather than focusing on the OpEx models that and the overhead operation cost behind it.
So whether they are an SME, large enterprise, or a government, we are all ready. They are welcome. Let them start knocking our doors. Let them start bringing their concerns, and we are ready to tackle it and to bring them to the cloud.
Exactly.
Saad.
Yes.
Omantel.
Yes.
Now, Mazen spoke about Otech.
Yep.
Otech and Omantel work together. Cloud without connectivity, connectivity without cloud are nothing. So they complement each other. The question here is, when it comes to the connectivity and the technology standpoint, how is Omantel serving these customers within the group ecosystem? How does the network underpin the cloud experience? So how do we really add value to what Otech is adding in terms of connectivity and the emerging technologies and the capabilities that both Omantel, Otech are having, and the synergy between them?
If you look at Omantel, if you asked a customer about Omantel a couple of years ago, they would have probably told you Omantel is just another telco provider, providing fixed and mobile services. But over the last few years, there's been a significant shift, Omantel moving towards a technology-based company. In terms of investing in cybersecurity, of course, Mr. Isa talked about cybersecurity, the importance of cybersecurity, AI capabilities. Of course, cloud is the execution layer, and also IoT. Mr. Mazen talked about that connectivity. There's a common denominator between these four things. What is it? It is connectivity. What is Omantel's role? Optimizing the traffic for different workloads. And this is where we play a significant role, providing you a comprehensive solution in terms of connectivity, cloud applications, and providing customers a one-stop shop in order to support the customers, whenever it's a small SME, whenever it's enterprises, or whenever it's a government. And this is what the role of Omantel is.
Okay. So that brings me to the last question to Isa, and again to cybersecurity. Yani help me to get this question answered so that myself and all the audience can sleep peacefully tonight, and we can start discussing cloud tomorrow. Is that for Otech, what is the approach for data security and data sovereignty? How, for me as a business owner, how do I get the confidence to commit to cloud? Today, Saad comes, he knocks my door, he says that, Wadir, it's your time to move to the cloud. Now, he offers Otech for me. So the first question I'll be asking is, how is Otech playing a role, or what are they doing when it comes to data security and sovereignty? So what motivates them to commit to cloud with this security assurance, rather than what happens in some cases, they start with a pilot or POC and they stay there forever playing the blame game or the excuse of the security?
Thank you. Actually, when we are working with the clients, first of all, they have to understand, we give them they understand how matured we are. This is the main key thing, which we spoken before as a trust, where they see how the team is working, what the size of the team that in cybersecurity protection certifications that they have. This gives also a trust, a first impression we call it. And then usually we start as a blueprint with them, which is assessment. And this assessment comes with gap assessment, reviewing their environment. We can show where their gaps are. This is the first start. And this is where we can communicate together. He can understand where he's standing, actually, not just a matter of moving to cloud. Then we move to protection, where we tell them that this is how we protect. So we have tools, we have systems, we have SIM solutions, we have SOC as a service, where we call it, and some clients, they might have their own on-prem solution as a SIM solution, but as Otech, we have hybrid, both. We have team who works 24/7, and he understands that after still some people are monitoring their environment. Then we move to detection. The detection this is where we really be proactively with the client, and then governance. Governance, where it is very important. They know we are moving with the right track, in the right governance, compliance, and so on. So all of these pillars, which I have spoke about, is our strategy, how we work with the clients. And here we are, Otech, we have very good team, and we have experienced and matured Omani team, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. A last question to all of you. And since we are running out of time, I'll have to be strict and give you exactly 30 seconds to answer it. For the businesses who are watching us tonight, whomever is still on the fence, go, no go, go to the cloud, don't go to the cloud. Is Mazen's, facts clear? Is Saad's pitch really attractive? Is what Isa saying is still a concern for me or no? What would you tell them? Isa, with you.
Okay, I think the most important from my perspective that you have to see what is going on in the region. If we talk about cybersecurity attacks or breaches, which is happening, so this leads you and other organizations to be more proactively ready for any incident that might happen. Because exploring what is happening around you is very important. This is my key points I would like to deliver to the audience.
Mazen.
Yeah, for me, I can say that move to the cloud and feel the experience. By that, you will get to know that you spend a lot of long years with a big pain on-prem, where you can, at that time, have a decision to move to the cloud, and you are now in a different positions, and you focused on your own grow business. You remove the big overhead cost, which was no matter. So what's make you stopping moving to the cloud while big entities in government now they are in the cloud? Big financials, banks and telecom, they are in the cloud. So I think you have to try the experience, and which will make you satisfied, inshallah.
Inshallah. Saad, the last 30 seconds.
Okay, I would like to end this with a quote. I can't remember the author's name, but it was a wonderful quote. The quote talks about ships being in ports are safe, but that's not what they're built for. They're expected to seek new horizons. And just like cloud, looking and moving towards cloud gives opportunities for organization to unlock their potential, to move to a maintenance-based organization to a value creation organization. That's it from my side.
Okay. So I believe now it's the time to go to the question and answers from the audiences. Okay. Okay, mashallah, a lot of questions. So, okay. Still people are asking about cybersecurity. So Isa, quickly. Is there any cybersecurity insurance in place for data stored locally or on cloud infrastructure, so that if Saad comes tomorrow with a USB, he steals the data, he goes to sell it in the black market? Is there any kind of insurance similar to what we see for the properties for the cars?
Yeah, there is insurance where most of cloud service providers, they usually have it. It's insurance that in case if something happened to the data. At the same time, it's a shared responsibility also because we've seen that some, I mean, tenants who are having their own application, they are the one actually maintaining their application. They are the one giving permission to vendors and others to access and developers to access to their environment. So some cases, it's out of cloud control where the user or the client himself should understand this very important because some developers, they might have a weak coding where it can leverage your application to be exposed and easy to be attacked.
Okay. Saad, how has the shift to cloud systems affected the accuracy and speed of financial reporting?
If we talk about cloud, let's talk about the Otech cloud. Mr. Mazen said something very important. It is built on Omantel's backbone, connectivity. So the experience that you get is we optimize the traffic for your efficiency. So if you actually had this on-prem, you might have issues. As the data becomes a lot, you're not able to scale. But when you're with cloud, you're able to scale. So when you're having lags or issues, this is where Mr. Isa talked about having dashboards. When things are actually going wrong, they could actually pinpoint what are the issues. Maybe there's an issue with CPU. Maybe there's an issue with storage, not enough storage. Maybe you need to actually access certain components to actually enhance that. So this is the benefit of cloud. If there's any issues, they can actually report and actually share recommendations on how to actually enhance that. And this is the benefit.
Okay.
All right.
Mazen, back to the SME pillar. As a startup company has developing 2 years advanced AI platform targeting SaaS services and advanced AI customer services. The question is there any program to closely work with Otech and or partners of Otech for some sub-services or for startup companies?
Yes, 100%. There's the doors are open for such initiatives. We are partnering with a lot of companies, Omani companies and worldwide companies to provide services. And we are supporting the initiatives from SMEs as well from the startups where they provide studied solutions and well-matured solutions related to AI or other cloud services. Today we have a department who studying this strategic AI solution strategic, and they can collaborate with them. We matter to get in touch with us, and we will support them, inshallah.
So I think, Mazen, by tomorrow, you'll go to office, you'll see SMEs piling up at your office, working, waiting for you to start this kind of partnership, especially that Isa and Saad have encouraged them to go, assured them that they are safe.
We are happy. We are more than happy to host them and provide the services for them, and we'll joint venture their workloads as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Last question. It's a bit of long question. So the question is that how are cloud solutions supporting data transformation in Oman's industrial and petrochemical sectors? What are the solutions provided by Otech in terms of cloud? So we are talking about the big petrochemics companies in Oman. As someone interested in accounting, what is the impact of cloud on financial institution? Do you have multi-region or AZs in Oman? So this is a second question. Third question, cloud also has geolocation. How can Otech ensure that these workloads and services are available in a different locations than Oman, so that, if God forbid, disaster happen, a kind of a cyclone, earthquake, God forbidden, how can they maintain this? So this, fourth question, does Oman have data centers that are ready for advanced AI application? And I'll ask you, Mazen, because you kept repeating AI. So I'll hold you accountable for that question. And what do you have in IaaS layer for networking isolation, the VPC?
Okay.
Why should we trust your solution, Isa? So back to the first question, is that how are the cloud solutions supporting data transformation in Oman, industrial and specifically the petrochemical sectors?
Yeah. So today, Otech is managing many many services related to oil and gas sector, and especially when it comes to their heavy workload. I understand the question where it's come from, because it's required some workload of these
Special workloads and
company.
special kind of yani, solutions for them.
Exactly.
including processing.
Yeah,
Processing, getting
the
data,
processing.
making decisions, because these kind of industries need real-time data to make a decision, go or no go, do this or
Exactly.
do that. Either they make a profit or, God forbid, they make a loss.
We provided many solutions, especially when it comes like for geographic analysis data, when it comes for requirement of GPUs, processing services. And also there's many other solutions required, like a Kubernetes solutions, where it come with AI enhanced GPU attached solutions. For as a SaaS services, currently we are providing top level, where it comes to full organization, full management from the procurement, supply chains, and logistics as a SaaS solutions. When it comes specific as oil and gas and chemical petrochemicals, here it's attached to the solution what they would like to have, and we are ready to support them and study their solutions to bring and build for them, either it's a SaaS or IaaS or dedicated environment.
Okay, so this is one question. Saad, to you and maybe also to Mazen. Financial institutes. We all are secured. I mean, we are all secured when it comes to their on-prem. Our data, our money, our credit cards, PIN numbers, everything is on-prem, it's secured. Now, how is the cloud affecting them, positively or negatively? Can they really move? Or shall we say, guys, thank you so much. Our money is with you. Please don't move to cloud.
I think it's a combination of both. It's a combination of both. I think it comes down to also having a backup, and this is where cloud actually comes into play. What you want to do is you want to make sure you keep all the data secured in your prem, but you also want to have a backup. So unfortunately, it is a sad truth that a lot of financial organizations are being attacked or targeted, let's say, for instance. However, this is where the cloud can come and play a role in. You can actually secure your data, have a disaster recovery in place, and Otech has done this with many different institutions who want to make sure they actually have a backup plan. And providing different sort of security layers, as Mr. Isa actually talked about. This needs to be a hybrid model. So we've seen this, we've worked with many different institutes where they have a combination. It's not a one-size-fits-all, but it's actually having a combination of hybrid and also cloud.
Which at the end answer the question that we do have geolocation. So it is not a single point of failure in case something happened to that location.
Yes.
We are going as blind. We have no services. We have geolocations, or let's say multiple disaster recovery areas in which even myself personally, I would encourage organizations to go for that, not only for the main data center, also to go for the DR. Right. Last but not least is last two questions to you, Mazen, quickly, and then I'll move to Isa. Advanced AI applications. Yeah. Are our data centers ready for that or not?
Our data centers is ready since 5 years ago, where we provided the solutions of AI GPUs as a service and built a Kubernetes platforms with providing multi-tenancy environment for customers to manage this workload. So we are the first initiatives being applied in the country, which is 5 years ago, and we are growing and ready for any time to provide scalable solutions.
Isa, last question for you, and let's make it very quick because this is the last question. What do we have in the IaaS layer for networking isolation, the VPC, and why should the customer trust it?
Okay, in the IaaS layer, we usually have Why the customer should trust it? Because
Yes. I mean, do we have this, the VPC, the isolation, and if yes,
yes,
what makes any customer trust this kind of layer?
yes, we have it, and there's, as we said, there's a dashboard where the client can see actually his environment completely, what is happening in a live session. So you can see what is happening. He can also add log monitoring that he can see who is using, who is entering to his environment. It's just an instant logs reach to his dashboard. So anyone access to his environment, definitely it will be showing to him. So this is, we can give the confidence to the clients. This is what happens actually with our clients. Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of our first Tech Live solution, and what a conversation it has been. A huge thanks to you, Saad,
Thank you.
Isa, and Mazen for bringing real expertise and genuine insights into tonight's discussion, and for everyone who joined us. Your questions and engagement made this exactly what TechLive is meant to be. Tonight's session was built around your challenges and your questions, and your feedback is what shapes the next one. To help us improve future TechLive sessions and better support your needs, a short survey will be shared through WhatsApp by Yusuf, our AI agent or digital assistant. Completing this survey takes less than 2 minutes, and your responses are invaluable to us. Stay connected, stay secure. We'll see you at the next Tech Live. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.